So last week we talked about the how-tos of forgiveness because a lot of people are ready. A lot of people want to forgive, or at least we want to be forgiving people, but we don't always know how, especially the big stuff. And we said we could boil it down to two simple steps. The first step was choice. It's just a choice. Just make your choice and live with it. Chocolate or vanilla. Forgiveness or blame, condemnation, not condensation, hate, anxiety, bad feelings about other human beings and oneself. Maybe make your choice and live with it. Today we'll talk about how step two to how to forgive. It's just a practice. It's just a practice. It's a choice you might have to practice at. You might have to make the choice over and over again. You might have to practice at it a little bit. When Jessie was in first grade, Grandpa, my dad, bought her a little starter keyboard. And that kid just found herself. She just took to it. And me and her took piano lessons. She just lost me after a few months, and she was off to the races. She didn't need me anymore. I thought I'd need to take them with her so she would want to take piano lessons, but she loved it. And she spent, an hour or two on that piano every single day, sometimes more. She practiced at it. And then one day in high school, it seems like you wake up one day and your kid can sit down at the piano or the violin and hear any song and just play it by ear and sing it if she knows the lyrics. Some of you are like that. You took lessons, didn't you? Some of you musicians out there, you took lessons once a week for half an hour and you practiced every day between music lessons. And then one day, 10 years later, 20 years later, you wake up and you're a master of your instrument. You can just pick it up and play it. You can play any song. Forgiveness is like that. Anything we practice repeatedly over and over, we get better at, right? Some of you are athletes. Some of you played basketball a lot as kids, every day on the playground maybe. And, when you first picked up a basketball, maybe you couldn't even get it up to the 10-foot high hoop. But 10 years later, you're sinking three-pointers, 40% of them. Forgiveness is just like that. Do you remember the math tables in school? I don't know, they're probably all digitized now. But when I was a kid, we had the flashcards, and we just drilled down on the math tables. 2 plus 2 equals 4. I swear, when dementia takes me, and I can't even tell you who I am anymore, can't even tell you my name anymore, I'm still going to be able to tell you that 2 plus 2 equals 4. Because we drilled down on those flashcards, and it is hardwired into my brain and central nervous system. Forgiveness is like that. Anything we practice at is like that. Practice makes perfect, right? So when I wake up in the morning and I don't feel like forgiving Dan, or when I go to the mailbox, when I come home from work and Joy's crying again, years after, because she got surprised at the mailbox with a notice from the Wisconsin Department of Justice that he's appealing the case again, and it just re-triggers everything, the anger and whatever. Then I go to the gym and I practice. I go to the forgiveness gym. I sit down, I close my eyes, and I do a little bit of work, and I choose again who I want to be. And forgiveness, just like a musical instrument, just like a sport, just like the math tables, just like anything that you've mastered in life because you did it over and over and over and over again. As a chiropractor, first time I tried to move a spine, not only was I terrified, but I didn't have a snowball's chance in Hades of adjusting somebody. But I did it over and over and over again for 30 years, and eventually you can move any bone in the body. Forgiveness is like that. It's just practice. Forgiveness is a choice. It might be a choice you have to make over and over again, and it's a practice. But what better thing in life to master? What thing brings the transformative power of forgiveness to change everything and presence love, and start with a fresh, clean slate and bring a deep peace and resolve anger and anxiety. What does that better than forgiveness?